Welcome to the Vault Excel. This is live number 2 or 1, depending on your interpretation. Please check out my last live stream pertaining to the last update pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. Both the federal government and the defense has rested. Sean will not be testifying. He spoke briefly to the judge. The judge asked him if he was making that decision not to testify on his own volition. He said yes. He also thanked the judge for doing an excellent job. And we will see if he feels that way next week when a verdict is rendered. This is the finale, everybody. What we've all been waiting for, 7 weeks in. I cannot believe this much time has passed. I have been bored to death with this trial, with all this he said, she said, and everybody repeating basically the same thing that somebody else has to say. Not saying that they're lying, but just saying it just became redundant. That how sick this man is. As most of you know, Fat Joe has come under scrutiny pertaining to 2 men bringing forward allegations against him for sexual coercion, which is similar to what has been levied against Puffy. Same type of nonsense of women and men engaging in sex, someone feeling forced, a hype man, somebody that worked with him. He's also saying he didn't get paid properly. He didn't get rights to music that he made with Fat Joe. It's a lot of accusations. And originally, Fat Joe felt as if he was being extorted by this said man or men, and he sued in April against the said parties. Now they're countersuing with this lawsuit. This is a hot butter mess. But one of the accusations is, as I said, similar to what we've heard in the Puffy trial of women engaging in sex with escorts. In this case, it's a hype man, somebody that worked with him, engaging in sex with underage women and underage minors and women, and the person actually didn't want to do it, which makes no sense to me because I don't understand how you're a man and you are claiming that another man forced you to have sex. You did it once again, out of loyalty, wanting to stay in the throes of this man. Well, he didn't respect you if he didn't pay you your just due. He didn't pay you the wages you deserve. He didn't give you the just due monies for your writing collaborations. So why would you then be having sex with anyone under the guise of Fat Joe? Just saying. Here's the latest, everybody. NewJersey.com is the source. Fat Joe sued for $20 million over alleged sexual coercion. Rapper Fat Joe faces a $20 million federal lawsuit from a former hype man who has alleged sexual coercion, underpaid wages, and denied songwriting credits. Is this about the songwriting credits and not being paid? Could it be he went along with the sex acts with women, men, whomever, dog, cat, monkey? I don't know what the hell's going on, but he figured I can get more attention if I say something salacious was going on. I was forced into something. Plus, hey, he didn't pay me my money for my time, my writing skills, so on and so forth. What are we talking about here? Once again, the hype man is suing for underpaid wages and denied songwriting credits. Terrence T.A. Dixon filed a lawsuit on Thursday at the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York against Fat Joe. Members of his inner circle and the entertainment company Roc Nation, NBC News reported. Now, Roc Nation is denying any of this. They say we don't have anything to do with whatever was going on between Fat Joe and this guy. We do not regulate the pay. That's between Fat Joe and him. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, Roc Nation, Jay-Z's company, they are denying any involvement in the payment of this man and any improprieties he's alleging against Fat Joe. They have no knowledge, they're saying. And they're also asking the judge to remove them from the lawsuit. Fat Joe, whose legal name is Joseph Antonio Cartagena, is a 5-time Grammy Award nominated artist known for hit songs like Lean Back 2004, What's Love 2001, and all the way up 2016, according to Apple Music. Dixon claims to have been, hold on one second, jumping off here. Dixon claims to have been Cartagena's hype man and to have contributed as his lyricist, background vocalist, bodyguard, and creative collaborator from 2005 to 2022, NBC News reported. In the 157-page complaint, Dixon alleges that he wrote or co-wrote several songs, including Congratulations, Ice Cream, No Problems, and Blackout, NBC News reported. That he witnessed Cartagena involved in sexual relations with 15 and 16-year-old girls, and that Cartagena regularly brought women back to his hotel rooms and forced Dixon to engage in sexual acts with them, sometimes in front of members of Cartagena's inner circle, as the rapper observed, recorded, or directed the acts. Sounds very familiar, does it not? Basically, he's repeating the same thing we heard in the Puffy trial. Just saying. Cartagena frequently arranged and orchestrated these encounters, intentionally creating scenarios designed to reinforce plaintiff's complete submission, according to this lawsuit. Dixon claims that he was coerced into more than 4,000 sexual acts to maintain his standing with the enterprise over 16 years. He claims that he complied out of fear of retaliation. According to the lawsuit, in one instance, Cartagena allegedly canceled Dixon's flight home, leaving him stranded with no funds after he refused to engage in another sexual encounter. Wow, that's deep, if true. Through psychological manipulation, intimidation, and persistent threats, Cartagena allegedly controlled Dixon, according to the lawsuit. Dixon contends that Roc Nation knew about the Cartagena's behavior or should have known, ABC News reported. In response, Cartagena's attorney, Joseph Tocapina, told NBC News that Dixon's lawsuit is a blatant act of retaliation. The allegations against Cartagena are complete fabrications, lies intended to damage his reputation, and force a settlement through public pressure. Cartagena will not be intimidated, Tocapina told NBC News. We have taken legal action to expose this fraudulent campaign and hold everyone involved accountable. Tocapina told NBC News that the lawsuit is a desperate attempt to deflect attention from a lawsuit Cartagena filed in April accusing Dixon and his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, of extortion, slander, and defamation. But Blackburn told NBC News that Cartagena is desperate and grasping for straws. We met with law enforcement, he told NBC News. Let's wait and see who they believe. Blackburn and Dixon have until June 23rd to file a response to the Cartagena's initial lawsuit. A hearing for the case is scheduled August 1st, ABC News reported. Dixon's lawsuit claims that he suffered serious emotional injuries, including chronic anxiety, debilitating fear, and symptoms associated with post-traumatic stress disorder. Dixon also remains in trauma-informed therapy, according to the lawsuit. He is seeking over $2 million for unpaid performance wages and other damages, claiming that he was denied songwriting credits and royalties, ABC News reported. Roc Nation could not be reached for comment on Monday. Wow, 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 wow. NewJersey.com is the source. What in God's name is going on? This is getting worse by the minute. Lord have mercy. Well, those are the allegations. Payment, wages not paid, royalties, recognition for songwriting. Billboard Pro is the next source, everybody. The Jay-Z founded entertainment juggernaut says in a new court filing that its role as Fat Joe's management company shouldn't involve it in the bombshell racketeering case. Okay. Now it's not allowing me to read it. Basically, Roc Nation is saying they don't have anything to do with the allegations. They had no knowledge of the allegations, and they want to be removed from the lawsuit. And this Mr. Dixon says he has no ill will towards Roc Nation. But they're going to say, well, you have to have some type of ill will because you've named us in the complaint. So this would be a problem. And this company is saying, well, we don't know anything about what you're talking about. I almost said cried. That would be insensitive. But we don't know anything about what you are claiming against Fat Joe, so don't involve us. I'm gonna sound like street people talking when you read the title. Don't put me in it. Don't put me in it. Right here, it says Fat Joe lawsuit. Rock Nation wants out of case. Says it has nothing to do with any of this. That's the title of the article. If you want to go in and read it, Billboard, you got to sign in and read it. Subscribe and all that old nonsense. So first, let's address the elephant in the room. Fat Joe, did you coerce this man to have sex with minors? Number one. Did you film him having sex with minors or any other persons? Did you ever do anything to this man inappropriate? Because I haven't heard that verbatim. And it sounds like a copycat of this Puffy Combs nonsense. I hate to say it, but it does. And it's recent, April. And we already knew that this was going to be an upcoming trial pertaining to Sean and allegations of, human trafficking, racketeering. And now, poof, voila, here comes this nonsense with Fat Joe and these men. I don't know what to say. I'm just going to be truthful. But what the F is really going on? That's the title of my video. What the F is going on with both of these men? We've already heard enough from everybody named mama pertaining to Puffy. And I believe the allegations. Some of it might be stretched a little bit, but I believe the premise of the allegations. This Fat Joe nonsense, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but it don't sound good. And of course, any allegations dealing with sexual assault or coercion, of course, it's not going to sound good. Why would it? But my thing is this. People are weak-minded and people will go along with things that they don't really want to do, or they may start doing it, but then they don't want to continue, men and women. But in my mind, it's just hard for me to wrap my head around a guy going along with having sex with anybody because some guy told him to do it. That makes me think that you two got something going on, because that's just weird to me. Like this big brother syndrome. Oh, my big brother told me I better go do this. But yet you're a grown man. And just the idea that this was going on for about 15 years or so, or 17 years, it's just hard to wrap my head around that. Just like the Lil Rod situation with Puffy. I refuse to understand how you could, one, stay in a man's house that's making sexual advances, putting his hands on you, touching you inappropriately, waking up naked in a bed with other people. This is Lil Rod's claim. And yet you continue to stay in his house for a year. And rather he made a pass at you day one, month one, 3 months in, why didn't you leave? I just can't see a straight man allowing another man to make sexual advances, touch him, and he don't do nothing. Such as whoop his ass. Even if he couldn't beat him, you would try. Punching him, doing something. This is bizarre to me. Hello, Miss Chick. How are you? So we have a Terrence T.A. Dixon being represented by Tyrone Blackburn. He's claiming 15 years of abuse. He was the hype man, lyricist, bodyguard, creative collaborator, security team member. So he was doing a lot of everything. Only thing he wasn't doing was what? Holding his penis? Holding Fat Joe's wee-wee? Stop it, Angela. Hey, like we say in the street, I'll stop if you stop. Because this is ridiculous to me. 157 pages of nonsense, filed June 19th. So this is fresh off the press, June 19th. So obviously these people were in some type of secret conversations with Fat Joe, trying to get money out of him. And he decided, Fat Joe, well, I'm going to sue them because nobody's going to try to extort me. So I'd like to know the original documents. Is it all about the lyrics, music? My understanding is that some of these allegations were on the original whatever, paperwork, asking Fat Joe for funds. I guess. I don't know. Who the hell knows? In the complaint, Dixon alleges Cartagena and his associates systematically engaged in coercive labor exploitation, financial fraud, sexual manipulation, violent intimidation, and psychological coercion. Dixon claims he contributed lyrics, vocals, creative direction to several of Cartagena's songs, including Congratulations, Ice Cream, without recognition or fair compensation. Well, see, you should have done something at that time. See, that's where you are at fault. When you saw you weren't getting nothing, you weren't paid to collaborate. See, you have to have an understanding with people when you are doing anything. Just like most people already know that a person who writes the song, they are charging a fee. See, I didn't know none of this stuff about music. But a person charges a fee to write the music, obviously to produce the music, and also the person who makes the beat. So you have people who write the music, make the beats for rap songs. They're charging so many thousands of dollars for the beat, maybe 30,000, 40,000, and you buy the beat. So you have to have an understanding with a person. I'm collaborating with you. I charge this amount of money to collaborate. You have to have that understanding. And this one instance of him being left behind, missing a flight because the man wouldn't pay, and this guy didn't have no money. How are you traveling with somebody and you don't have no money and you're a man? That makes me think that he's like a flunky. He's a gopher. He's just a ride-along guy. So you got all these titles, background vocals, lyricist, bodyguard, and you ain't got no money in your pocket? This don't make no sense. Excuse my English, but I got to talk like I'm in the street because this is some street SHIT. How are you traveling with no funds with a person making money? If he got money, you should have money. Make it make sense. From 2005 to 2020, he was the hype man, lyricist, background vocalist, security team member, creative collaborator, according to the suit. He claims that he was forced into humiliating situations, including sex acts performed under duress and surveillance, which means he filmed it. Will we find out there are surveillance videos made of this man having sex with whomever who has a copies? Lord have mercy, Jesus. I'm dead, Satan, I'm dead. Allegedly threatened abandonment in foreign countries, job loss, or physical harm if he didn't comply, according to the complaint. So we now have him saying, well, I was in foreign places and he would threaten to leave me there. Wow, that's deep. So this goes back to what I just said. You see that this is how the person is reacting and talking and dealing with you. Why are you still hanging on? But what did I say? We all have done foolish things for people who are not famous. Okay? I own my part. Dealing with people who you see are not genuine. They're not above board. They're not about their word. Same thing. Just not as elaborate, maybe. But not following through with things. But this right here, being bribed and shit, Oh, you better go do this or I ain't gonna fly you home. I'm not getting ready to do nothing for you because I'm getting ready to go get me a lawyer and get my just due and leave you stinking. Leave your big tail stinking somewhere. How about that? Ain't no way. This is crazy to me. All right. What else we got? The lawsuit also claims that Cartagena and his associates allegedly trafficked minors and psychologically groomed them, with Dixon claiming he personally witnessed Cartagena allegedly engaged in sexual relations with children who were 15 and 16 years old. Given the nature of the allegations, a trigger warning was included at the top of the court document, noting it contains highly graphic information of a sexual nature, including sexual assault. Dixon is seeking over $2 million for unpaid performance wages, as well as additional damages. When reached by ABC News, Cartagena's attorney Joe Tacopina said Cartagena sued Dixon and lawyer Blackburn back in April, alleging extortion, slander, and more. He claimed Dixon's lawsuit against his client was a blatant act of retaliation. So is this a retaliation situation? They tried to get money from Mr. Dixon tried to get money from Fat Joe for whatever his claims were. And Fat Joe said, F this, I'm going to take him to court and I'm going to do it the legal way. Would you consider this the long way? I don't know. But now it's out here for everybody and their mama to hear. Desperate attempt to deflect attention from the civil suit we filed first, which exposed their coordinated scheme to extort Mr. Cartagena through lies, threats, manufactured allegations, Tacopina said. Dixon and Blackburn have until June 23rd to submit a response to the first lawsuit, and a hearing for the case is scheduled to take place August 1st. Tacopina described Dixon as Tacopina. Ooh, these names are making me sick. Describing Dixon as a disgruntled former employee, and claimed Blackburn has a pattern of abusing the court system. Meaning what? He goes to court a lot. He sues people a lot. What does it mean? Help the queen understand, because I'm confused. Help the queen understand when you say he has a pattern of abusing the court system. Has he gone to court several times for suing people? Well, we have a YouTuber that sued everybody and their mama. We need not call any names out. But you do have some sick people who do that. They just go to court and file papers and file papers and file papers. And God knows you have to have some money to file documents. And this person's got damn near thousands of lawsuits against everybody. You know, Pocahontas to Pac-Man. Damn. Tyrone Blackburn has a well-documented pattern of abusing the courts to harass defendants and generate media attention. So basically, he's talking about Blackburn. I'm sorry, I misread that. They're talking about Mr. Blackburn, the attorney, has a pattern of abusing the court. That he harasses defendants to get media attention. Mr. Cartagena will not be intimidated, he added. We have taken legal action to expose this fraudulent campaign and hold everyone involved accountable. In a statement to ABC News, Blackburn pushed back against Tacopina's claims, saying that Joe Tacopina is desperate. He thought only of himself when he erroneously advised his client to take this course. Blackburn said in part, he continued, Fat Joe knows what he has done. My client was with him for nearly 20 years. My client does not do drugs, nor does he drink alcohol. His memory is perfect, and he has receipts. We have 3 additional pages of predicated acts which detail trafficking of another sort. Joe Tacopina should better advise his client to do the smart thing. Tacopina has previously represented high-profile clients such as Donald Trump. Blackburn has represented big-name clients as well, including rapper T.I. and producer Rodney Jones. Well, I wouldn't be bragging about Mr. Trump. I'm just saying. Oh, ABC 6 is the source. Where is this going? That's all I'm going to ask. Where is this going? And what are the receipts that Mr. Dixon has? Because if Mr. Dixon indeed, let's go ahead and go there, because Pandora's box is most definitely open. If Mr. Dixon has receipts to Joe soliciting children for sex, any type of videos of sex, Joe with children, he's a cooked bird. Number one. Any text messages of this man asking Joe for money for his collaboration, security, detail, background singing, writing lyrics, and Joe pushing him off, he's still a cooked bird. Because I see now, everybody loves to keep their damn text messages. I don't. I rarely keep text messages from my conversations with people because I don't feel like it's necessary to keep them. There's only one person I've kept my text messages from for maybe a few months, and it would be a spell. I might keep them for a couple weeks and not delete them. But it's only one person I've kept text messages from, and that's when I was dealing with a certain fool recently. You all know who that is from months ago. I would go back, might just look at him and be like, how, just reread the stupid shit he would say. But just in general, the people that I talk to over the years, I've not kept their text messages. I have no reason to keep them. For what? For what reason? So, does this man have text messages showing anything felonious in nature said by Fat Joe to him about some things? These children, sex acts, non-payment of jobs done, performed, threats to him. I'll leave you, I left you, whatever. This is so fucking juvenile. And yes, it does look crazy. He's been with him a long time. 20 years is a long time for somebody to be your ride or die. And then now all of a sudden, he's turning on you, want money. So there may be some truth to it. We have heard many people in the industry not getting their monies. We've heard it all with TLC and other musicians. They were getting milked by their managers. And this is why you have to have somebody that is a legit, that can read the paperwork to you about what you're signing. You sign papers not knowing what you're signing, you have a problem. As Oprah Winfrey always said, sign your own checks. You don't let nobody sign your checks for you. And that's where a lot of people make their mistakes in this industry with music. You're allowing somebody to take your check and then give you a portion. No. You get your check directly and then you pay your subordinates money. Do you understand what I'm saying? No different than if you're suing a company. You don't let the lawyer sign for the check. You tell the company, no, I want my cut sent to me directly. And you can send his portion, my lawyer, she or he, their cut, however. But don't ever let the lawyer receive the whole check, because you may not get a damn dime. And that's what that Murdoch guy was doing. He was peddling his clients' monies. He was getting the check, and then he wouldn't even give the people their damn money. They just keep calling, coming to the office. Hey, where's my check? Where's my check? Did my check come? Did my check come? And he would put them off. And then, too, he had an addiction. So, he was taking the money, buying dope and stuff, and peddling. And that's how he was making his money. He was peddling one check to the next. And then he'd re-up on the next person's check to pay the last person he owed. So this is why you don't allow your lawyer to sign for your check. Same thing with a big manager. Your manager, whether you're in sports, actor, actress, whatever, agent, no. You're not signing my check. I don't need the check sent to you. Whoever the company is, you send me the check, and then if you want to send a percentage, the percentage that they say I owe them to help, then you send it to them. Or however that go. But you don't let other people sign your check. Because if you do this, you will never get any money. You'll never get paid, and you'll always get cheated. And we've heard countless of stories of this happening to many black musicians, being duped by their managers. We've heard this so many times, it's like dead in the water. My manager stole my money. My manager stole my money. And you don't even know what you're worth and what you got. Because you're allowing somebody else to get the check. Don't do that. Fat Joe. Are these allegations true of you cheating the man out of his rights to the music, royalties, wages, and making him have sex with underage girls, women? And did you also have sex with underage children? And why would you be having sex with 15, 16-year-old girls? And I'm not trying to be funny, but you all know I'm going to go there. So please don't mind what I'm about to say. And I'm going to try to be very diplomatic in what I'm about to say, because I know somebody out there already reading Queen's mind. Fat Joe, what do you have downtown to be having sex with anybody? Shut up, Angela. I said that. Calling on Fat Joe. Fat Joe, what did you have downtown to be having sex? Or shall I say essay? Because it's essay if it's a child. And if I'm to believe that you were watching the hype man have sex, we're going into this P. Diddy territory. Are you also gay and like men? And then I'm going to ask Mr. Dixon, do you have a lot of junk in your trunk? Hello, Susan. Thank you. Because Puff Diddy liked his men to be well endowed downtown to have sex with his lady friends. So now I'm going to ask if Mr. Dixon had a big you know what down there. Because why are you choosing that one guy or the other guy to be the ones to have the sex with the women, the young girls? See, there's something to that if I'm going to believe the allegation. Just saying. I don't know if it's true, but we're just going out on a limb. There's a reason for the season. So I always tell people to pay attention to the information because that's where the truth lies. It's at the beginning of the story. Sean liked the people to be glistening like donuts. Oiled up like some SHIT in a porn movie, porn video. He went from producing music to directing porn. I said it. Put your foot here, put your ankle here, bend over, put your mouth here. See where I'm going? So this guy's making the same allegations against Fat Joe. So Fat Joe, you like Puff Daddy, you just sitting in the corner, what, touching yourself? Are you doing the same thing? Put your mouth here, bend over, get on your knees, put your elbow over here, put your ankle over here. What the hell am I talking about? I'm about to start answering myself, and that's not good. The hell is going on out here? See, there's something weird with somebody wanting to sit in a corner and watch somebody else have sex. Like I said, somebody might say, well, Queen, it's the same as watching a porn on the TV. It's just live like Memorex. It's just right there in front of you. True? Yeah, it's still sex. Live sex. Right there in front of you. I get it. But what's the point? See, watching a porn movie and videos and looking at magazines, I'm assuming you're doing that because you don't have a partner to do these things with. But we have learned that people do have partners and they're still looking at the porn and not engaging with their partner, which is very still strange. That's strange to me as well. That's really telling me you got a fucking problem. We learned that from Kirk Franklin. He had a whole wife and he still was looking at porn. But I've learned that people who engage in porn like that, they don't know how to engage in a relationship with a human. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't know how to engage. They look at you as an object. Just like how a dog humps another dog. It's called human nature. That's to me the same with a person who just looks at porn even with or without a mate and can't stop looking at porn. Just hour for hour for hour for hour, touching themselves, next page, touching themselves, next page. There's something wrong with you. Because you got a whole mate in another room and you rather sit at the computer and look at porn. You need to check yourself. You need to go see a damn doctor. So I'm going to say the same with Fat Joe. Why this person specifically you want to look at have sex with kids? Come on with it, Queen. And then another thing, Mr. Dixon, if this is true, I guess you'll be testifying under immunity as well if you indeed had sex with children who are 15 and 16 and so on and so forth. I'm just saying. I must say R. Kelly has rubbed off on a lot of people if this allegation is true. Everybody likes children. What the fuck is going on out here? I like it with pigtails and hair bows, bobby socks, shiny shoes, and short skirts. You know that's sick, right? Fancying a child. Fancying sex with a child. Sexual acts with a child. Means you need to get your head checked. So I'm just saying, if these allegations are true, Fat Joe is one sick fuck. One big tub of lard. Now, Fat Joe is a smaller Joe because he's lost a lot of weight. But you know, Queen, very rare does an overweight man have a nice sized penis. Oh, Angela, don't do this. I'm going to. The average fat guy don't got no penis, and everybody knows that. Very rare does a fat boy have a nice sized penis. Ting, ting, ting. So when you have a person that likes to do certain things, such as not penetrate, that's usually a sign they can't get it up or they don't got nothing to work with. Come on, preach, Queen. And you heard Nancy Grace say Puffy had a little Tootsie Roll. So all these years you're looking at this man screwing all these different women, you just assuming, oh, he must got something downtown. He got something going on down there. Well, let them tell it, him don't. And we heard about Weinstein. Don't make me go there. Weinstein had an itty bitty spider and it stunk downtown. What did the white lady say on the witness stand? When he pulled his clothes off, he looked like a woman downtown. Shut your mouth, Queen. Shut your mouth, Queen. Imagine that. A man disrobing, and you're hoping to see a pee-pee. But there's no pee-pee, just fat. And what have I always said? Because I don't tell my personal business on live streams pertaining to sex, but I'm going to go here with you just because I'm feeling a little jiggy tonight. I don't want nobody to look like Queen naked. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Strike one, Queen. I don't want nobody to look like Queen naked, if you get my drift. I got my own jelly rolls. So guess what? I don't want a man looking like an eye without his clothes on. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because there's going to be some smoke in the city, literally. Now, somebody going to say, not Queen, please don't do this. Oh, I'm going to do this because I'm Queen. Fat Joe, what is the truth to these allegations? Did you coerce this man into sexual acts with others, even children? Did you also have sex with children? Did you film yourself with children? Did you film this guy with women, children? What the hell are we talking about here? Or is this just a guy mad because you didn't pay him his just due in his collaboration with the music? And he's just making this up, making up something salacious to get everyone's attention. Because naturally, somebody's going to have some type of proof. And why do I smell something burning right now? This is not the time for Queen to be running out of the building in her nightgown. Jesus wept. Somebody then probably burnt something in the stove and fell asleep. Anywho, do you all believe the allegations? Let's go to the Queen's community page and see what you said. I asked you all this earlier, yesterday. Oh, wow. So, Fat Joe, Queen's going to ask. Just got a news break. Carmelo Anthony, the young black boy that stabbed the white kid in Texas at the track meet, has been indicted on first-degree murder charge. Ooh, when I say Satan is busy. Damn. Can't sleep in this building I live in. You got to sleep with your damn eyes open because you don't know what the hell might pop off. Thank you all for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. Going down my community page. Do you believe the allegations pertaining to Fat Joe? I put essay. I might need to change that because I need to put just sexual coercion because he hasn't yet said. Well, it is sexual assault because he is accusing him of messing with minors. So that's sexual assault. So I take that back. Do you believe the allegations? 55% of you said yes. 20% of you said no. 25% of you said you're not sure. So that's almost neck to neck with no and not sure. And 51 of you voted. And only one person commented, anonymous lioness, said probably. And I replied, why probably? My movie of the week is Hotel Dunsmuir. It is free on the Tubi app if you're interested. Jesus wept. Because I know Jesus is tired of hearing about all of this nonsense with people messing with children, assaulting children, murdering children, sexual assault against women and men, sexual assault with pastors and rabbis and priests and children, people taking advantage of grown-ups, priests, pastors, adults, coaches. We have a case here in West High School. The whole damn staff is now gone. They hired a new coach at West High School, football coach, because 2 assistant coaches have been accused of inappropriate behavior with children, high schoolers. One's black, one's white. And the head coach was a white man. He's gone. So I guess somebody at the board said, we're just going to clean the house altogether. Well, this is the most interesting thing about that case. I bumped into a recent high school graduate from West High School, a young man, and he's going to be playing for a school in Virginia football. And he told me, and I believe what he said, why would he lie? He said, oh, we've been seeing him walking around flirting with the girls in school for years. Now, I repeated this story to a certain man, and he said, oh, you know, high schoolers, they make up stuff, they lie all the time. I've worked with high schoolers. So what? You're working with grown-ups that lie all the time. So what's your point? What's the difference between a high schooler and an adult being a liar? There ain't no difference. I said, you don't know that this kid is lying. I said, one thing we've learned about allegations like this, there are usually signs of grooming overtly, and people see the signs and they don't do a damn thing. Or they take this allegations to the school board principal and they push it under the rug and give them a little tap on the hand to say, hey, there's a little bit of talk. Just want to let you know. And probably tell the person, I don't believe it, but we just thought we'd let you know. And then he probably thought, okay, I better simmer down. But he ain't never stopped. And the other coach didn't stop either. And I think that's the reason why they fired the head coach, because for all we know, this has been a discussion at the school board, principal, whoever probably brought allegations before. It's something to it. Why they fire the coach? Why they fire the head coach? See, because you don't know what was going on behind closed doors. And we hear these stories all the time that there's always been some talk, some whispering, some gossip. Oh, he's very flirtatious with the girls. Oh, the girls always fawning over the coach. The coach is always fawning over the girls. But yet the coach is still coaching. The coach is still teaching. It's like the case in Maryville, Tennessee, right next door to me. This coach, he's fired from school, but I haven't heard that he's lost his teaching license from the state of Tennessee. That's what I want to hear. And he has a judicial diversion, which means he's on probation. How the fuck do you give somebody probation for messaging children? And he admitted to it. He didn't take an Alfred plea. He said, yes, I'm guilty of talking to her, sending her messages, pictures, whatever he was doing. He pled guilty. I think it was like 3 counts or so. But he got judicial diversion. Why? What the fuck is wrong with you people? The system is crooked. You don't give nobody judicial diversion when it comes to children. Child molestation, touching, grooming, pictures, messages, first-time offender, I don't care. You are opening up Pandora's box by giving him or her a pass. So what are you saying? Oh, well, he didn't penetrate her. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. I don't care. The fact that he pled guilty is enough for me. He ain't got no business teaching. No why. His ass need to be in jail. And a lot of you are just as sick as these pedophiles out here. Oh, God, they ain't got no proof. Oh, it's just a picture. He just asked her for a picture. I don't care. Today it's a picture. The next time it's, hey, Meet me at Baskin Robbins. Hey, meet me at the park. Then what? I've never seen people always wanting an act to happen to then say, oh, well, let's throw him in jail now because he did something with her or him. No, 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 no. You are talking sex talk with a child, your ass should be locked up. Period. No exceptions. Now, back to this nonsense with Fat Joe. Do you all believe, I don't know what to say. Do you all believe the allegations? I don't know what to think. I'd hate to be talking about this man and these allegations are false. But if he's cheated this man out of money, he needs to pay him. So I don't know if this man is just making up this sex stuff to, make the case worse, make people take notice. So you don't know. But allegedly the lawyer says his client has receipts. So we'll wait to see what the receipts are and we'll see what the district attorney says. If the district attorney wants to bring forward charges, because that's the only way that this will go forward is if the district attorney sees information to say, okay, he has a case. And all I can say, Fat Joe, you better pray you ain't done nothing with no children. And this man got a videos, text messages of any type of conversation involving children, coercion. You gonna be a big cooked bird. Did you hear what I said? Or a cooked big bird. Take your pick. Once again, 55% of you do believe the allegations. Now, back to our little friend, Mr. Sean Puffy Combs. I asked you all earlier, do you believe he'll be convicted on all the charges? 75% of you said yes. 8% of you said no. 10% of you said prostitution by transportation only. Very interesting. 8% of you are not sure. 40 people voted. Because a lot of people feel like that's the only charge that's possibly been proven by the government is the prostitution charge. That's been proven. We've got the Punisher, the other guy testifying they were paid. We've got Cassie, the other women saying they engaged in sex, blah, 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 picked out the men, paid the men. So that's been proven. Men flew from one place to the other. But the racketeering and the human trafficking, a lot of people feel like, or at least a while ago, the government did not prove that. So I'm going to ask you all in the viewing audience, has the government proven their case on all charges against Sean Puffy Combs? Or are you all still on the fence about some of the charges? The defense and the government has rested in the prosecution. The prosecution and the defense has rested. They're done. Okay? Sean Puffy Combs declined to testify on his own behalf. The judge made sure to ask him, was he in his right frame of mind? Was he coerced? No. You sure this is your decision? Yes. He also thanked the judge for doing a good job. But as I said, will he feel this way come next week when he gets a verdict? What will the verdict be? What say you in the chat? Will 12 members of a jury find Mr. Combs guilty? Because he's going to do some time either way, whether he's guilty on charge 1 or charge 1 through 5. They all carry quite a few years. And definitely racketeering is automatic life in prison. Okay? Wow, wow, wow. Once again, Barry Morphew has appeared in court, waived his right to extradition. He's been arrested for murdering his wife. Check out that documentary, 48 Hours. I watched it the other night. So interesting. This will come up. Might have watched it yesterday, late in the morning. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this Fat Joe nonsense, but all I can say, if there's some truth to it, it's not going to be good. Former hype man alleges rapper forced him into thousands of sex acts. How did you come up with the number 4,000? Somebody help the queen. That is what Mr. Dixon is claiming. 4,000 sex acts. That's a lot of that's a lot of sex. So let's go here too. Let's go into the belly of the beast. As I said in my last slide pertaining to Sean, Cassie, and all these escorts and girlfriends and side pieces, nobody's talking about HIV/AIDS. So this guy is claiming 4,000 sexual acts, either with the same person or different people. 4 times his penis has penetrated somebody's vajayjay. Where am I going with that? I'll let you figure it out. Where is Queen going with that? To the health department. That's where she's going. Sir, have you been tested for HIV/AIDS? Also, I'd like to know, are you heterosexual? Are you gay or are you bisexual? I'm asking all these questions because I believe there's some fuddy-duddy SHIT mixed into this nonsense as well. I'm also wondering if Fat Joe is a big fat sugar mama. Does Fat Joe got some sugar in his tank? The fact that he wants to sit and watch a grown-ass man have sex with women and children, something ain't right. Just like the same thing with Sean. Why are you sitting in the corner touching yourself, watching your lady of the hour have sex with men? Glistening bodies and baby oil. Dirty game of Twister. Let's all do the hokey pokey. But you ain't hokey pokey. You're just sitting in the chair touching yourself. This is perverse. I've never heard of such. Just somebody sitting in the corner, sloughing off dead skin cells, watching people have sex and orchestrating. Put your foot here, put your mouth here, bend your head, bend your neck, get on your back, get on your stomach. This is stupid. And they're complying. Remember what the Punisher said at one point? He couldn't even perform. Couldn't even get an erection. He thought something was wrong with him. He's taking meds. He's getting procedures done. He's talking to head shrinks. Do you know how crazy that sounds? I remember when I first heard that weeks ago, I was like, what the F am I hearing? Why did you let this little blackbird get in your head to make you feel like you don't know what you're doing with your wee-wee? All along, there was nothing wrong with his wee-wee. He let Sean Combs get in his head. That's a dangerous place for a human to be, and I think most of us know this. When you dwell on shit, you dwell. It's always on your mind. You're thinking about what they did, what they said. It's a dangerous place for another human being to be. And Mr. Punisher allowed this dirty bird to get in his damn head to where it stopped his wee-wee from working. Doctors checked him out. It's nothing wrong with your penis. It's your head, not your penis. That's deep. Fat Joe. Well, Fat Joe, all I'm going to say, once again, for your sake, I hope it's not true, because I hate to hear this about anyone. Coercing people to have sex, different types of sex, video, taking videos, pictures, whatever, is wrong. And we live in a world where people honestly film themselves, masturbating on these porn sites, uploading the content, showing themselves have sex with their maid or whomever, as if it's no big deal. It is a big deal. And a lot of these people are probably making money from their porn videos, but why would you want to do that? I mean, to each his own, but I wouldn't want to be uploading content to a site, and hell, for all I know, my neighbor, parent, relative, anybody might scroll over to the porn site and be looking like, hey, that's my sister. What the fuck is wrong with you people? There's just like no care for self today. There's no self-respect. Men thinking it's okay to film women while having sex, then revenge porn, break up. Now you're selling the videos or sharing it with your friends or sharing it to these porn sites. Women and men willingly filming themselves to upload to porn sites. There's just no decency anymore with people. This is why people ideas and ways are they're so jacked up. They don't have any empathy for anything because everybody now is self-serving. It's all about me, what I want, what I need at this time. I don't care if it hurts you, but I'm getting something out of it. I'm getting gratification from it. Fuck you. That's basically the world we are in. We're in a fuck you society. Literally. And I was thinking, as I said in my commentary hours ago, about Sean sitting in the courtroom with the headphones on, listening to the excerpts from the freak-offs. He was probably getting excited listening to Jane Doe moan and groan and the guy moan and groan. You know it. His leg was probably flapping, open, closed, getting an erection. And who's to say the people on the jury listening, they weren't getting a little bit excited because it's human, you know, you're seeing and you're hearing. People have sex through a monitor. And that's the reason why he was keeping all that trash. So he could relive the moment. Look what I made this woman do. Look what I made this guy do. Look at me. I'm king. And that's how Sean sees himself. He sees himself as a king, as a god, that he's invincible. He can make you do whatever he wants you to do. Now we're hearing the same type of BS about Mr. Fat Joe. And I'm praying that these allegations are not true. But in the end, it's neither here nor there because I don't know Fat Joe. And I don't know what Fat Joe's been doing in his fat time behind closed doors. But I know as a man, Fat Joe couldn't have made me do a damn thing. How about that? Let me make that clear. Fat Joe couldn't have coerced me to be having sex with women and I'm a man. And if I'm a woman, he couldn't have made me do anything with his friends, associates. And also, this Dixon guy's claiming he was having sex in front of an entourage. Other people affiliated with Fat Joe. Once again, Rock Nation is declining, I guess, commentary or, any involvement with these allegations. They had no knowledge. They have nothing to do with the payment between Fat Joe and Mr. Dixon. And that's where they stand on that. Well, Jay-Z, what do you have to say? You can't get a break. Just as quick as that girl dropped her suit about you doing fuddy-duddy stuff to her, now here comes this nonsense with Fat Joe. Jay-Z can't catch a break. Wow, wow, wow. And I'm sure Jay-Z said it somewhere like, Lord have mercy. Why me, Satan? Maybe God's trying to tell us something. Jay-Z, maybe God's trying to tell you something. I don't know. Depends on if this is the truth or not. So once again, take the poll on my community page. If you believe the allegations against Fat Joe, if this is just some guys making up stuff because they want money for work they didn't get paid for, and they're making up salacious rumors, allegations against him to glorify a situation of not getting paid their monies. Don't know. All I can say, there comes a point when everybody needs to say no. And you have therapists who will tell you, ain't nothing wrong with telling a person no. You don't want to have sex with him, her? Hell no. I don't want to do that sexual act? Hell no. I don't want to go out on a date with you? Hell no. Nothing wrong with telling a person no. Now, the flip side of no is if you're alone with the person, things could turn very ugly in saying no. The person can take it. And that's a whole different ballgame. But somebody calling you on the phone, sending you a text message, such as what we saw with Cassie, Puffy, Jane Doe, the other young lady, he's messaging these women and they're holding conversations about freak offs and stuff. And a lot of times it seemed the women were down for it. But as I said before, with Cassie, this other lady, Jane Doe, I would never initiate the conversation about a freak off if I knew I did not want to do it. If I've been catching infections, my body's worn out, I didn't like the last guy, whatever, I don't want to do it, I wouldn't even make a comment about it. Hey, when we're going to meet up again? Hey, I had a great time last night. Hey, I had a great time 2 days ago. Why say anything? You know you really don't want to do it. I wouldn't even bring up the fucking subject. That's where I'm confused, is why these women were engaging in conversation and quipping back as if they enjoyed themselves and talking about setting up the next date when you know that's not really how you feel. Why are you going to initiate something you don't want to do? That's stupid to me. How about ignoring him? Don't answer the phone. How about cutting him off altogether? Oh, he wants me to have sex with a guy. I thought he liked me. Obviously, he don't. That's what I would have told myself. But see, everybody's different. Oh, he's not attracted to me. He wants me to have sex with a guy. What makes him think I want to have sex with some stranger? And he wants to film me. Oh, hell no. Oh, this situation is over. Fuck Sean Combs. And then you've got leverage on him because you could have sold that story. You could have told him, oh, I'm going to tell everybody you're a freak. You want somebody to have sex with men, with prostitutes. And don't you think he would have said, oh, you better not tell nobody? And I would have said, oh, well, I'll keep it quiet for a certain amount of money. See, these women didn't know how to play the game because they could have turned on Sean the very first time he approached them with this escort nonsense. But they didn't have that type of common sense. Well, Seth, I'm going to show you what I can do. How about that? I'm queen, bitch. Anyways, I was rudely interrupted. Just say no. I'm not into that. I feel disrespected. I feel violated with you even coming to me with this nonsense. So I would have cut Sean out. It don't matter if he felt remorse, empathy. I would have cut his black ass out. You don't come to me talking about screwing no other man or another woman or nobody else. Who do you think I am? What is it about me that you thought it was okay to come to me and ask me some filthy shit? That's what I would have told Sean. And then I would have cut his ass off. And then he go ask the next female the same damn question. But it wasn't going to be on my dime. And that's where all these women messed up. And so you can best believe, as it has been said before, imagine what you don't know about Sean Combs. Imagine the people who also have stories, but they didn't testify. They didn't contact the district attorney's office. You know damn well there are other people out here who have a story against Sean Combs. A dirty, nasty story, such as what you heard in court 20 times over. And that's the sick part. There are more stories out there. You just haven't heard. You haven't heard about them. And people like Sean won't stop until somebody makes them stop. And now you fast forward 2025, he's in court fighting for his life. And I don't see any remorse, any empathy. He thinks he's God. He thinks he's God. But he now knows he's not God. I don't know how 12 members of the jury are going to weigh, if they're going to convict him on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or none. But he is guilty of the prostitution charges. That's been proven. He has paid people to have sex. They have received monies. They got flight logs. They've got probably checks and things, deposits and I mean withdrawals from the bank. You have the guys who testified to say they were paid and how much they were paid. They didn't lie. I don't see that they lied. Why would I want to go to court and lie and make up I was prostituting myself out? That's stupid. So they've got that proven already. The prostitution by transportation charge. That's been proven. One hour and 5 minutes into this live stream. I'm not going to hold you all, but I wanted to jump on here to discuss this crazy nonsense that Puffy's life hangs in the balance. And now here comes allegations against Fat Joe. Feel free to go back to the beginning of this live to get the said information pertaining to the allegations by Mr. Dixon against Fat Joe. If you believe the allegations, if you believe it's an issue of non-payment of monies for music and collaborations, unpaid wages, but souped up to a sexual nature. I don't know. But one thing I can say, I can't sit up and say it's not true, because look at all the things we've heard about Sean Puffy Combs and all the people who got tangled up in his evil web and went along with setting up the freak offs, having knowledge of the freak offs, procuring drugs for him, using drugs themselves. You heard all that in testimony the past 7 weeks. Filming of the sex acts, escorts testifying to being paid, traveling, women being beat up, hurt, blackmail, relatives being blackmailed, coercion, car bombing, break-ins, all with receipts, all leading to Sean Puffy Combs. And that's a problem. So he can sit in court all day and say, I ain't did this, this, and this. You have done a lot of stuff. But that's where the racketeering comes in, where a lot of people are confused about what racketeering is. It's dealing with bribes, coercion, drugs, selling of drugs, manufacturing of drugs. All that's in the RICO Act. So you have to know what the act means to understand the said allegations and the charges against Sean. He has bribed people. He has blackmailed people. He has coerced people to do things they did not want to do. I believe that to some degree. The issue with Dawn and the making her go to Kid Cudi's house, all that's what would be considered in the RICO Act, racketeering. And that's where a lot of people got confused because they couldn't understand, well, when are they going to show us something that's racketeering? Well, that's considered racketeering. Coercion. Blackmail, bribery, forced labor. One of her charges, her allegations against him as well. You know, non-payment. Making her work, not paying her. And we're also hearing this now with this fella, Mr. Dixon. So this is what I want to know. Mr. Dixon, are you a heterosexual male? Are we going to find out that you had some sex exacted with Mr. Fat Joe? Because so far I haven't heard that, but I'm wondering if that's next, that you had sex with Fat Joe or that he touched you inappropriately. Where are we going with this? Because something is strange that Fat Joe would want you or any other man to perform sexual acts with whomever in front of him. There's something off with that, which is no different than what Puffy was doing with these women and these escorts. It's the same thing. Why are you choosing these certain people to do these certain things? Because there's a reason for that. Always remember that. If these allegations are true, I'm just saying if. Fat Joe chose that guy for a reason. To be in sexual relationships with these women. He wanted to see that guy perform. So that would lead me to believe possibly Fat Joe is a homosexual. And that's what Jane Doe said about Puffy. Why does he want me to keep having sex with these men? Why? I'm wanting to love him. I'm wanting to be alone with him. I'm just wanting to have sex with him. Why does he want to watch me have sex with other men? And she said that's the conclusion she came to. And if you go into Google search, that is one of the symptoms of the voyeurism, of wanting to watch your mate, lover, whatever, have sex with a man. Your female have sex with a man. You're possibly gay or bisexual, and you don't want to be seen touching the man, groping the man, penetrating the man, or him penetrating you. So you'll sit back in the cut and just watch. But you're fantasizing, possibly, of being with the man. And see, that's safer than people knowing, oh, by the way, I'm gay. Because you got to assume these men who were coming to have sex with Cassie and Jane Doe, that they were heterosexual men because they're being solicited by the women. And that was one of the things they said to the escorts. My guy friend is not going to be in the picture. He's not going to engage with us. Let me make that clear. He's only going to sit and watch. So the guys probably felt like, oh, that's cool because I don't like men no way. And I don't want to be touching another man's body while I'm touching you. Now, another guy may not care, which we would consider a gang RAPE, but you understand what I'm saying. Some guys may not want to be touching a woman and groping a woman with a guy also being right there, touching, groping, and penetrating a woman. Every guy's different. But I see similarities in the commentary. Now, the issue is it true? That's where there's a problem with this. We already got confirmation of what Sean was doing with the prostitutes and the women. But what proof do we have pertaining to Fat Joe and him sleeping with underage children and this man sleeping with women, children under coercion, coerced by Fat Joe? Did he coerce this guy, force him, blackmail him, bribe him, pay him, didn't pay him, film him? Because that's also one of the allegations. He was filmed. And like I said, if this guy can produce a video of him having sex with women, children, hell, he's wrong for that if he knew these kids were underage. 2, he's stupid enough to let Fat Joe film him having sex with kids or other women. How weak can you be? Come on now. What are you gaining out of this? Just to say, oh, I'm with Fat Joe, but yet he ain't paying you either for your work. So now you have to ask, what's the mindset of this guy? What's his grade level, his aptitude level? So you got to ask all those questions. And why did he feel the need to go this far into the abyss to please Fat Joe? Why would you do it? There's got to be something deeper than just, I wanted to stay connected to him. That sounds gay in itself. I'm sorry, but it does. Because you always have to ask yourself, how far am I willing to go to be loyal to this person? He's not my brother. He's not my father. He's not my lover. He's not my husband. So why am I engaging in sex with strangers for this rapper? Come on now, let's keep it real. What are you gaining out of having sex with these strange women? Why are you doing it? It's got to be deeper than just, I wanted to be loyal. Because it looks like to me, if you're suing him for unpaid wages, $2 million or so, this just ain't adding up. So yes, I'd like to see the proof that Mr. Dixon has against Mr. Joe. And as I said, for Joe's sake, he better hope he ain't got shit. Because if that man produces 1 video, 2 videos, and we can hear your voice in the background, and you're egging it on telling him to put his hand here, put his mouth here, put his tongue here. Lord have mercy. And that's the first thing everybody's going to say, I guess, in that case, too. Well, it's consensual. He was stupid. He did it. But if it's minors, they're both wrong. And this Mr. Dixon knew better than to be sleeping with children if indeed he had sex with some kids. So was it just women or was it both? Either way, this ain't good. And this sounds worse than this P. Diddy stuff. Because now we're having a direct allegation of minor children being involved in sex acts with Mr. Joe. So I'm going to ask Mr. Joe, have you had sex with underage girls or boys? Did you film yourself having sex with girls and or boys? Did you ever film yourself having sex with any woman or man? And have you had sex with Mr. Dixon? Because to me, there appears to be some underlying situation going on between Mr. Dixon and Fat Joe. I don't know what it is. I don't know if this is, as I said, just hyped up lies to make this man look bad, Mr. Joe. And Lord, I hate to even say Mr. Joe because that was my grandfather's name, Mr. Joe. But you understand what I'm saying? I don't know what's the truth to these allegations. As I said, this could be just really about money unpaid to Mr. Dixon for his work. And he's thrown in this extra sexual stuff. But allegedly, the lawyer says he has proof. And as I said, woe is me if he has any type of sex videos with kids, with women, and Joe can be seen and or heard in the videos. I just feel like, as I said earlier, we're living in a different day and time where there's just no self-respect. And we as people are doing things that we have no business doing to ourselves and others, whatever that may be. And that there are no boundaries anymore. Everybody feels free to say anything to people, do anything to people, manipulate people, con people, scam people, touch people inappropriately. You see it all the time. Men, they're out. Always want to grope a woman, touch her, buttocks, breast, shoulder, pull on her arm, pull through her clothes. You're not supposed to be touching people. I had to tell somebody that recently, a week ago. Stop touching me. You don't have to touch me to talk to me. And he just kept on. Finally, I said, stop. And I meant what I said. And I just happened to be out and about Monday. He saw me in a public place and he kept trying to talk to me. I ignored him because that is the only way you're going to make a person understand you mean business. When I'm done, I'm done. There's no more talking. There's no more conversation. It's a wrap. I gave you a pass and you kept violating. Finally, when I told you, hey, stop touching me, you finally stopped. And now you're trying to what? Make it up and soothe over it. You can't because the damage is done. You may not have made no harm, but you knew you were wrong because you kept doing it. You had to keep touching somebody's arm, keep touching and touching. Next thing I know, he was pulling my shirt, which was pulling like the bra through the shirt. I was like, what are you doing? Because this is what I'm saying. There are no boundaries out here. People don't have fucking boundaries. Say what they want, talk nasty to you, call you out your name. Let me tell you, I've had an eventful week. Motherfuckers have been trying Queen all week, but you can best believe this big girl will walk you down. And I had to rear up with a little small ass man the other night. Let him know, baby, I ain't what you want. I will wear you out. Because you have to put your foot down and you have to let people know I ain't what you want. Because this is why we have the stories you're hearing right now with this bullshit here. Because this is how it starts. I can say anything to you, you're taking. I can do anything to you, you're taking. And then before you know it, you're doing this old creepy shit here. Not Queen. Hell no. Hell no. Because this is what you always have to tell yourself when people get too comfortable. This is how you end up. Well, she did it one time. What's the big deal? Doing it again. Exactly. This is why you don't do it the first time. So it's the same with, as I just said, groping, touching inappropriately, sending pictures, text messages inappropriate. You stop it the first time. You don't like it. You're not into it. You let the person know on the receiving end, hey, why you send that picture? Hey, why you asking me sexual questions? I don't want to talk about that. They don't want to stop talking. Hang up the motherfucking phone. Block them. You got to teach people how to treat you. And a lot of times, people don't want to rock the boat because they don't want to end up arguing. But the thing you have to understand, if you're being mistreated, what do you care about arguing with a fucking fool? Because you ain't really got to argue once you make your point. Hey, I don't like that. And then they want to quit and go back and forth. That's on them. You ain't got to continue to respond. Shut it down. Shut it down. Don't put yourself in an awkward situation, especially if it's like through the phone, video chat, text messaging. You see that conversation is veering left, cut it, shut it down, because it ain't going to get no better. Now, you in public with a person or a private situation, I still recommend you do what you have to do to get out of the situation. It's not to say things cannot turn violent because you don't comply. But you let them know, hey, I'm not into this. Hey, I don't want to talk about that. And try to get yourself out of the situation. This is why you have to know the enemy. And with all this nonsense with Sean, we're hearing this time and time again. Shortly after these women got tangled up with him, he revealed his true self. Hey, I want you to explore with me. I'm a voyeur. I like to watch you have sex with a man. All you had to do was say, I'm not into that. And then cut his ass off. No way you could think he liked you. He cared for you. Because that's not caring for a person. Now, there's some Joe Blow out here who will say, well, I love my wife. I love my girlfriend. But I don't mind seeing her have sex with another guy. I'm not jealous like that. Well, obviously you ain't jealous enough to care for her either. That's how I see it. Why in the hell do you want to watch your woman have sex with another man? For what reason? For what? That shows me you don't care nothing about her. You can't sit up and tell a person, oh yeah, I like you a lot. I care for you. I love you. I just want to do something a little different. I want to try something different. You don't respect her. Because to me, it looks like you're bored. And that's the first thing you'll hear a man say. Well, we need a little spicing up. Try something different. I'd like to swing with another partners. I'd like to have sex with another woman, or I'd like to see you have sex with a man. Either way, it's disrespectful. Because we've heard horror stories about swinging. Somebody starts swinging without the other participant. Ding, ding, ding. Your man is meeting Susie May without you. Vice versa with the other male. Now they are in a full-blown relationship and you don't know nothing about it. And then next thing you know, you're asking, well, I thought we were going to be swinging with Susie May. And he's like, oh, well, she's not available. Oh, I tried calling her. She won't answer. Oh, she's answering. She's answering all right. She's answering for him. And that's the game they're going to play with you. And you have no idea your man has been over here sleeping with her alone without you. That's why you don't start that shit. As they say in the street, to each his own, but I wouldn't play those type of dirty games because somebody's going to get hurt. And you got people who are already in relationships with people who they know are with other people, married, dating, and sometimes all parties know about each other. That's a dangerous game. To be married or in a relationship and you know your man is out here sleeping with a woman or different women, you know her name, all that. And you know he ain't going to stop. Why is he going to stop? Because he likes it. And we're seeing crazy stories with that. Man in Georgia killed the wife and the girlfriend. What you killing them for? Kill yourself. Hell, don't kill me. But I'm assuming the cat got out of the bag. So he decided to take everybody out, including himself. A coward's way. This is exactly what I'm trying to explain to you. The shit can get deep and somebody can end up dead. Because you're playing childish games and you're going to end up winning a foolish prize. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people. They think because everybody's in agreement that everything's going to go smoothly. That's a fool's way. A fool's thinking. Oh, ain't nothing bad going to happen. We're all in agreement. Nobody has to know. But you got a man sitting here with a damn camera filming it. As we heard the Punisher say a week or so ago, I'm wondering if I'm in some of these videos that they're watching in court. Maybe. Somebody will have to come out that court and tell you personally. And that would have to be 12 members of the jury to say, Mr. Punisher, yes, the video we saw, the excerpt, you are in the damn video clip. See, people don't think about down the road. Punisher, the other guy, they didn't think they were going to be in court testifying. Cassie didn't think she probably was going to end up testifying. She probably thought, I'll get this little $20 million from Sean. It's over with. Until the video came out of him beating her up in a hotel. And then here comes the indictment from the federal government. You see, one thing begets another. All the people that testified under immunity. They didn't want to go to court and testify, put their names out there. But it is what it is. You see how everybody got tangled up by fooling with Sean Puffy Combs? So this is what I'm trying to explain to you. You don't know how things are going to end up by the company you keep. This is why when you were younger, if your mother and father taught you right, they told you about being careful about the people you hook up with, slumber with, make babies with, hang with, because you could end up a fucking courtroom story, Dateline story, news story. And people still to this day don't get it. All it takes is being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now you're in some drama. And I'm sure all these people are thinking about what they've done pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. Working for him. How in hell did I end up in this predicament? To where now I got to go to court and testify. And people know what I know and what I did to stay in his good graces. So loyalty ain't shit. And this Puffy trial is proof in the pudding that loyalty is whack and it's dead. And that people do not care for you and they don't love you and they don't respect you. So all this jumping through hula hoops, jumping in hot water for a so-called employer friend was all for what? Because you lost your self-respect along the way. And I think that's the reason why some of these lawsuits came about pertaining to Sean. These women regret being involved with him. Because the one thing you can't turn off is your brain. You can try. But sometimes the memories just won't leave. And I think Cassie felt that way. What have I done to myself? And the fact that we got a visual count of men in books of who she slept with, there were 2 binders. That's not good. That's not good at all. Now we got this guy, Mr. Dixon. He's talking about 4,000 sexual acts. So what you have to ask yourself in this case, are we talking about 4,000 different people? Or 4,000 acts with same people, different times, or a combination of both? And has he had an HIV/AIDS test? Because I didn't dwell on that the last time when I mentioned that. Mr. Dixon, are you HIV positive? Fat Joe, are you HIV positive? Because somebody, once again, as I said with the Puffy situation, somebody's going to eventually come forward and tell us that they are HIV positive that's been dealing with all these jokers. You wait and see. That's next. Check out my last video pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs, because that's what I talked about in that last live stream. It's only a matter of time that somebody's going to come forward and say, I remember getting symptoms, got sick, got tested, and found out I was HIV positive. It's between this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one that I possibly got it from. Shut your mouth. And this guy has put his PP somewhere 4,000 times. He's got to be a mean motherfucker. Shut your mouth. But somebody might say, well, hell, Queen, once you've been with 20 men, 20 women, hell, you lose count. What's the difference between 20, 200, 200, 500, 500, 4,000? I guess it depends on your interpretation. But you have to use common sense. There were times Sean wanted condoms on, condoms off. So if this guy's telling the truth, imagine 4,000 times no condom. Ding, 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 ding. 3,000 times no condom. It's a roll of the dice to come up short. And anybody that slept with Mr. Dixon, you think they ain't thinking about that right now? If they have come up short with a disease and or HIV, oh, I slept with him before. And I came up short after sleeping with him. I caught trichomonas or chlamydia, woo, woo, woo. Do you see where I'm going with this? So, Mr. Dixon, you are now opening Pandora's box for people to come out and say they've caught something from you. Herpes, gonorrhea, whatever, or the big A, HIV. You're not bright. None of you all are bright if your allegations are true, because that's where this is going to end up. Somebody's going to put their face to a damn disease. And I'm going to say the same for Sean Puffy Combs. It is only a matter of time that somebody is going to come up out the mud and say they contracted herpes or HIV from Sean, Cassie, Jane Doe, Gina, whomever else, the Punisher, the other escort, the other escorts that were mentioned in the binders. That's what's going to happen next. Because you should already know the stove is hot. And the fact that Cassie now has accumulated $30 million from this nonsense, she's ripe for the taking. And I always ask this question, and I'm going to check out of here, about Alex Fine. We learned the other day that Sean did suspect that she and Alex were messing around. What I find interesting is that he didn't harass Alex Fine, stalk him, bribe him, blackmail him, threaten him. Why not? Is it because he was white? You knew that you would catch hell threatening a white man? I'm just curious. Because you didn't mind disrespecting Kid Cudi, blowing up his car, breaking into his house. So why none of that happened to Alex Fine? You hired him to be her trainer, and now we're finally hearing at the end of the trial, because it was not mentioned at first, and that's the issue as well with the defense. Why are we just now hearing about this, and why was it kept hidden during the trial, which they should have let this be known, because everything else was out of the bag. Sean, once again, asked Cassie for money for training services per Mr. Fine. Oh, I think you're screwing him, woo, woo, woo. I done paid him to be your trainer. Now you're fucking him, blah, blah, blah. I want my money back. Kind of like what he did when he went and found her mama, and the mama paid him that $20,000 or so money, and then he gave it back to her. Because he allegedly was doing stuff for her. He wanted payback. He's an Indian giver. Check out my short on that. Sean's an Indian giver. Because you see, anytime you deal with Sean, it has to be an even swap. And as they say in the street, even swap ain't no swindle. Checkmate. So you deal with Sean, it's got to be an even swap. So I'd like to know why he didn't harass Mr. Fine. And I do believe she was messing with Mr. Fine and Sean at the same time, late summer, fall of 18. Because she married him a year later and was pregnant. And she was pregnant when she got married to him that following August. So Cassie was busy. And she said in court, I cut off Sean because he said Kim Porter was his soulmate at her funeral. And when she went to that funeral and heard him say that, that was a punch in her gut. So she never looked at Sean the same again. Are you hearing this? And many of you are probably going to say, what the fuck is she saying? After all he's done to you, that is what would make you not want to continue dealing with Sean Puffy Combs? A comment about a dead woman after he's beat you, introduced you to drugs, talked down to you, bribed your family, your friends, put his hands on your friend, videotaped you with other men. You would have still been dealing with him had you not heard him make that comment about a dead woman. That's some deep shit right there. That shows you how deep her mind was blown by this black Negro. A comment about a dead damn woman, that she was his soulmate. And who's to say that he even meant it? You think he didn't see Cassie sitting out there when he said it? He could have said it to get under her skin. Oh, I know how to get her. She's here. I'll say Kim was my soulmate. Well, Kim was his soulmate. Why didn't they get married? Why didn't they stay together? Exactly. Sean is a chameleon. A doppelganger. He is gross. It's the devil. And you can't believe anything that comes out of the mouth of a narcissist, sociopath. Him sitting up there talking about Kim was a joke. The man has never respected anyone. And I've also said people need to be very leery in saying he was a good father, doting on his children. This man is a sadist. And when you are hypersex the way he is, you can't think he ain't touched his children inappropriately, have not done so. Because he doesn't have any boundaries. And you have to always remember he has a sharp tongue. He's ruthless with his tongue, his ways. How is he turning all of that off when he gets in the midst of his children? And you got to remember, he had access to children while he's doing all this bribery, blackmail, coercion, king nights, freak-offs. Stay woke. Stay woke. And after Kim died, he was taking care of those girl children, boy children. So once again, how is he turning this sadist behavior off while caring for kids? I tell you, you all ain't woke out there. I'm woke. I don't trust this man around a dog. And I've said it time and time again. The only thing missing from the Sean Puffy Combs story is bestiality and homicide. And somebody else has said that as well. Damn, Queen, how do we know he ain't murdered somebody? Exactly. Because with all this pill popping and drug usage, drug running by ex-assistants, who's to say that somebody wasn't in his company and they never woke up? And they took the person somewhere and planted them in their house or an apartment, and then poof, voila, they were deemed overdose victim. See, you don't know. And after what has been alleged about Kid Cudi, them breaking into his house and putting that bomb at the top of that Porsche, cutting a hole in the top of that car, Sean is capable of anything. And these fools who rode the ride with him, they are no different. So that goes for KK, that other D-Rock person, whoever security. I don't trust nobody that's been in his company working for him. Because we really don't know how deep this goes, what these people saw and witnessed and did for him. There's not that much loyalty in the books to be doing all this running around, procuring drugs, packing drugs, storing drugs, watching him abuse women, and you say nothing, which I get it. It's not your business. But how long are you going to ride that ride? Because what you got to understand is you're a party to that. Whether you ever said anything or believe what he was doing, it was wrong. You say, oh, it's wrong what he's doing. Yeah, but you ain't doing nothing. You right there. You think it's okay to be in the midst of somebody getting beat up? How many times you going to watch somebody beat up a woman? Setting up rooms knowing that it was for prostitutes. You're a party to that. And in your mind, you may say, like what a lot of these people out here are saying, well, it's consensual. No, it's prostitution. There's a difference. The law says you cannot pay for sex. You can't receive money for sex. You cannot sell your body for payment. That's the law. Whether you agree with it or not, that's the law. And these people, at some point, obviously, they're saying they knew when they were setting up these rooms, because common sense will tell you how much baby oil can one person use. Astroglide. How much Astroglide can one human use? Damaging hotel rooms where he has to pay a fee just to book the room because he would leave the rooms in such disarray. You know you can't get oil out of sheets, carpet, drapes. The fuck are you all doing in the room to have oil on the drapes? I dare not ask. It's sickening. And then the fact that the women said they would have sex with Sean after the freak-offs. I want you to understand how crazy that sounds. Because Jane Doe had sex, I believe it was Jane Doe. On her birthday, he had 3 escorts lined up for her. I do believe she ended up getting sick. And then they had sex afterwards. How in the world could you stand to allow 3 men to penetrate you back to back and then also have sex with Sean Puffy Combs? Whether Sean's heavily endowed or not, that's just too many men running inside your private body, one after the other. Same night. What type of birthday fucking present is that? My dear, that was a present to Sean, not you. Let me see how weak she can be for me. That's what he said to himself. Let me see how low she'll go for me. And you did it. And if these men were heavily endowed, can you imagine going hour for hour being penetrated by a very well-endowed man? And then here comes another man. He's penetrating you. And God forbid if you're doing other sexual acts plus, God forbid, anal sex. And now you're going to have sex with Sean Puffy Combs and you ain't using no damn condom. Are you serious? This is atrocious. And the fact she repeated it in a courtroom should be enough to bring shame to anyone, especially her. Because somebody knows who she is, because they tried to reveal it in court when the woman was making that disruption in court weeks ago, trying to air her name out, and the judge let everybody know, I better not find out anybody mentions her name, or I will hold you in contempt. Somebody wanted her name revealed badly. And then lo and behold, all of that shenanigans, disruption in court, all this SHIT with the jury members, one getting let go 2 weeks ago, then another one they kept on. She walks up to the defense and hugs the defense lawyer. Meaning what? I don't know. You decide what you think it means. But she also admitted she still loves Sean. This is some crazy SHIT. This puts Tubi and Lifetime to shame. What I've heard in the past 7 weeks. All these sexual partners, infections, sickness, bribery, blackmail, alleged coercion, prostitution, car bombing, house break-in, blackmailing family members, putting hands on friends, paying that same friend an NDA agreement for $30,000. You can't make this SHIT up. You can't make this up. And now we have allegations against Fat Joe. And you either believe them or you don't. But as I said, I'm going to wait on the evidence to see what this Mr. Dixon and this other guy have against him. And all I can say, if there's any audio, any visual aids, text messages, Fat Joe, you are done. You'll be back eating ho-ho cakes and pound cakes because your nerves are going to be so bad if there's some truth to these allegations. You'll be back the size you were because you'll probably eat yourself to death with worrying. That's why they always tell you, be careful what you do because it may come back to haunt you. And that's what's so amazing about how people act today. They don't even care. Fuck it, I don't care. Let them find out. Oh, well, I'm grown. Everybody's half naked. Everybody's bending over, putting their butt cheeks up to the iPhone. Everybody's walking around with cellulite hanging out their coochie cutter shorts and midriff tops and boobs hanging out, no bras. Getting their lips plumped up, asses plumped up with injections. All for a booty shake in front of an iPhone, Android. Some likes and some views. TikTok, Facebook, IG, YouTube. But you should know there's a price to pay for that type of behavior. And what's even more demeaning is to see elderly people, older people acting the same as young people, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, airing all their dirty laundry, telling all their dirty secrets via live, outing people. That's how you end up dead. And every time I look at the news or I get a notification from Newsbreak, I'm steady seeing an influencer who has unalived himself or herself. Why? I don't know. This is why I tell people you have to be very careful what you share on social media, what you share to people behind closed doors, because you can't trust everyone. And I'm sure these people who are involved with Puffy, they see this now. That what they thought was behind closed doors has now made it to the public. And their names are attached to this filth. And you can't take it back. So you need to be careful who you talk to, who you're friends with, who you're dating, things you confide in with people, letting people film you act a fool, getting drunk, getting high, popping pills, popping dope, selling drugs, running drugs, whatever the fuck you're doing behind closed doors, you got to be very careful. Because what's done in the dark will surely come to the light. And you need to think about yourself. You need to think about if you have children. You need to think about your family, your friends, your community. If you go to church, your job. Because a lot of people out here act like they don't got no damn job. Just do say anything. Okay, worried about it. Let them find out. Okay, then you fired. Now what? Now imagine these people with real jobs. Everybody that testified in court against Sean Puffy Combs. Nobody's talked about that. What does Brendan do for a living? What is Don doing for a living? What is Cassie doing for a living? What is Jane Doe doing for a living? What is Mia doing for a living? Stay woke, everybody. These people do not have real employment with a real viable company where they have to walk in, bypass computers, desks, water coolers, where people can stand and look and whisper, "Here she comes. Here he comes." You can't bank on social media as your livelihood. Views go down. People stop following. So all you got left with this bullshit with Sean is a book deal, paid interviews, speaking engagements. My Life with a Fool. Charge the highest dollar amount to spin your story. And as you see, many people will pay to listen. But what's the end result? How is it going to affect you down the road? And that's what this Jane Doe isn't thinking about. I don't know how old her son is, but one day he's going to hear her testimony. He's going to hear these stories if he hasn't already. I don't know how old he is, but he's going to know his mother subjected herself to this BS for the almighty dollar, $10,000 a month. And that's going to be deep for a child to try to reconcile with that, Miss Doe. Oh, you did all this for me? You love me that much, mommy? That you're willing to sell yourself with prostitutes just so you could have a nice house? Or was the house really for you, not me? She's got to stand account for that. And I don't think Jane Doe's ready for that. Because children can hear, they can listen, they can Google. And there are people out here who already know who you really are. And it's only a matter of time your real name is going to get out here and be put to print. Then what are you going to do when people start talking and giving out your government name? You have a child to be concerned with. And then you have the nerve to tell the court, you still love Sean. Well, I'll be damned. But does Sean love you? I say no. Sean doesn't love you because Sean doesn't love himself. And I don't think Sean loves anyone. Because to be who he is with what we heard in court, there is no way he even loves his own children. Because how do you turn that other Sean off and be a father, a decent father to your kids? No different than the mob, right? You're out here killing and chopping up fingers and hands and heads and throwing them in the river and the forest. And then you go home and eat dinner with your family and tuck your child in the bed and read them a bedtime story. Are you a good father? Just saying. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. I've not put any content over there lately. So any updates pertaining to this trial, feel free to check it in the YouTube queue. I have an extensive library of 4,000 plus videos and shorts for your entertainment. Also, movie suggestion, Hotel, Demure, now free on Tubi. I thank you for your time. I thank God this trial is coming to an end. I don't know what's going to happen to Sean Puffy Combs, but I pray he gets time in prison because he deserves it, rightfully so, because of all the dirt he has done to many people out here And that's not including the allegations that he has touched children inappropriately. And he still has to face his other charges of drugs from last year. Drugs found on the jet and drugs found at the New York hotel. So he's not out of the clear, even if he's found not guilty. And I do believe his attorneys were seeking another mistrial, but naturally, as you see, the trial is still going forward. Puffy versus Fat Joe. What the F is really going on? That's my commentary. Thank you for your time. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Oh, and if you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay hydrated. It's going to be very warm in a lot of states this week. We're expecting thunderstorms later today, but it's going to be very hot, 97 degrees. So please stay hydrated, everybody, and mind the children as well. Thank you for your time.